Hi guys, it's Michelle, Deception Bytes, and it's September 13th at 10:41 p.m. Eastern Time. We have caught up on all the Q posts for today, and well, actually, there have been no Q posts for today, and so what I did was I brought the post from yesterday, got us all caught up, and also brought to you a Q-related news. Well, there's enough literally for another video of Q-related news and probably enough for 3 or 4 more. But since this will be my third video today, I think that that is enough, and I'm going to call it quits after this. But tomorrow, Lord willing and the creek don't rise, if Q posts, I'll bring you that, and I'll also bring you some additional Q-related news because it's unbelievable how quickly things are happening and how much is happening. So let's get started here. Now, the first thing that I noticed when just catching up on news tonight was this about the exploding homes in Massachusetts. 3 entire towns in Massachusetts told to evacuate as multiple homes are exploding. Now, quite frankly, if I hadn't checked this out, I would have thought this was a joke because it sounds like it. Multiple homes are exploding. Homes just don't explode. And it says at least 20 home explosions, but I've heard it's now 100. So that's a lot. I guess think that's an understatement, really. But let's go take a look at this and see. I don't know if we're ever going to get to the real bottom of this, but it is interesting. It's Merrimack Valley gas emergency. Many Merrimack Valley residents have been forced from their homes after 70 gas-related explosions. From my understanding, it's now up to 100. And fires sent people scrambling for cover Thursday night, prompting officials to order widespread evacuations, set up emergency shelters, and close schools. It says 1 dead, at least 10 injured in a series of gas-related explosions. Now, if there are 100 homes or even 70 homes or even 50 homes that exploded, I would think that there is more than just 1 dead. But we may never know. They may cover that up, the true number of dead, or it may be that they have not sifted through the rubble enough to know who is dead and who is not dead, and they do need a coroner and all that to pronounce people dead. So I don't know. That number may rise significantly. Man killed, 10 injured after dozens of gas-related explosions. Fires rock Lawrence, Andover, North Andover. Says shelters set up in areas affected by explosions and fires. Schools closed Friday in Andover, North Andover, Lawrence due to gas emergency. Roaring blaze sparked by gas explosion devours Lawrence police officer's home. So it's there's a lot happening there, and because it's ongoing, I don't know. We're probably not going to get to the bottom of it tonight because certainly this is a developing story. But I did want to bring it because it just sounds a little off to me. Now let's go here. I don't know what to think about this, but I'm bringing it to you anyway so that you can decide for yourselves. Just taking a little drink there. Many natural gas pipeline operators in the U.S. gas affected by cyber attack. Now, this is a website called securityaffairs.co. Not sure about this. I've never seen this website, but it says natural gas pipeline operators in the United States have been affected by a cyber attack that hit a third-party communication system. The hackers targeted the Latitude Technologies unit at the Energy Services Group, but the attack did not impact operational technology. At least 4 U.S. pipeline operators were affected by the attack on their electronic systems. The Energy Transfer Partners was the first company that reported problems with its electronic data interchange EDI system. The electronic data interchange platform used by businesses to exchange sensitive documents included invoices and purchase orders. Okay, this does not explain what would cause a gas explosion, though. So I'm not sure if this is related or not. I'm trying to see here. Doesn't look to me like this may be even related, but again, I don't know. Let's look at another link that I have here, and this is Twitter. But this may not be related. Yeah, this is not related, so we're going to move on, but that's something that we may want to watch and keep an eye on about this gas. I don't know if it's an attack. I don't know if it's an error, if it's a mistake. I don't know, but that's a lot of destruction, and I don't know. Is it a terrorist attack? Is it some sort of attack on our infrastructure? I don't know. But it's something that we need to be paying attention to and need to watch. Hopefully more news will be coming out about it, and I will update you as well. Now, this is Lou Dobbs, as I'm sure you can read as well as I can, and let's listen to what he has to say. First, it says the Hurricane Maria death tolls have been inflated, and President Trump was right to call out organizations who threw out science and statistics to try to discredit his administration. Now, we just looked at this in the last video as well, but here we are again. Now, let's listen to what
65 people. Politics and death tolls. President Trump says death toll number estimates in Puerto Rico have been driven by politics, by the national left-wing media and the Dems. The president tweeted this morning: 3,000 people did not die in the 2 hurricanes that hit Puerto Rico. When I left the island after the storm had hit, they had anywhere from 6 to 18 deaths. As time went by, it didn't go up by much, and then a long time later, they started to report really large numbers, like 3,000. This was done by the Democrats in order to make me look as bad as possible when I was successfully raising billions of dollars to help rebuild Puerto Rico. If a person died for any reason, like old age, just add them onto the list. Bad politics. I love Puerto Rico. The president, by the way, is right. The study the president alluded to is one produced last month by the Milken Institute at George Washington University. Almost a year later, the number went from 65 people killed to 2,975 people attributed to the storm. The finding wasn't the result of a death toll count, a body count, nor a study of death certificates, but a public health study that subtracted the number of people who theoretically should have died over the same period from the number of people who were reported dead over that period. After the report came out on August 28th, last month, Puerto Rico's Democratic governor officially revised the death toll from 65 to the new estimate. And why did he choose to trust that study? Why not the Harvard study back in June that found deaths related to the hurricane fell within a narrow range? Are you ready? A narrow range from about 800 to more than 8,000 people. By the way, that's also an abstract and unconnected to any evidence estimate that even the liberal Washington Post found ludicrous. And why did 2 Florida Republicans locked in tight races distance themselves today from the president over this issue? Governor Rick Scott tweeted he agrees with the Puerto Rican governor. Ron DeSantis' campaign sent out a statement that reads, Ron DeSantis is committed to standing with the Puerto Rican community, especially after such a tragic loss of life. He doesn't believe any loss of life has been inflated. Obviously, the 2 men don't care that the numbers aren't related to facts, nor do they care about how those numbers were arrived at. The numbers were inflated, and the president was right to call out the organizations who threw out science, statistics, and evidence to discredit the Trump administration.
Yes. Very well stated. Very well stated. All right. Let's go back and move on. This is interesting as well. Did you know? Oh, actually, while we're on this subject of Puerto Rico, because down here, remember I mentioned it to you in the last video. Well, I did find that picture. If I can find it again, I hope, here it is. Look at all that water. There's all millions of cases, or at least a million, and of water. And this isn't the only picture that's out there of all this. It's right off the airport, and it's just sitting there. It's still sitting there. It's been sitting there for over a year. So let's explain that. Year after the hurricane in Puerto Rico, they found a large stockpile of water bottles at an airport. Did they hide hundreds of thousands of bottles of water, risking people's lives just to make President Trump look unfit? Well, I don't know about that, but it seems very poor management to have all that water sitting there for a year. So there you go. So let's now we can move on. Here we are right here. Did you know Google employees visited Obama's White House 427 times? That's right, 427 times. Yes, 427. 427 times. That's a bit excessive, don't you think? Google execs met with senior Obama officials 230 times. 230 times. 250 Obama staffers now work for Google. Well, that's interesting. Deep State used Gmail drafts to communicate. Obama plus Google equals Spygate. Could not agree more. Imagine Google visiting the White House 427 times and executives meeting with senior Obama officials 230 times. That's excessive. Don't tell me that Google was not hand in hand with the deep state. Oh, they're in bed together and doing the horizontal mambo together, I guess. Revealed. Google staffers have had at least 427 meetings at the White House over course of Obama presidency, averaging more than one a week. Excessive? Yeah, I think so. The White House's close relationship with Google was highlighted in data published Friday. Records show 169 Google employees met with 182 government officials. Google's top lobbyists paid 128 visits to the White House since 2009. Of course, Google is a frequent guest, company responded in statement. The disclosure comes hot on the heels of last week's revelations that U.S. watchdog, the FTC, very nearly pursued an antitrust lawsuit against Google for unfairly burying rivals in its search results, but ultimately gave up the chase. Google denies any wrongdoing. And of course, wouldn't they? The relationship between the rich California corporation and the Obama administration has been going on for some time and has resulted in a string of troubling situations, a few of which we documented in a report over the weekend. The Journal today highlights that as the FTC neared its decision not to prosecute Google for abusing its dominant search and online advertising position, its senior executives had a sudden run of meetings both with the watchdog and the White House. It also pointed out that Google spent $16.8 million. Oh, is that all? Just $16.8 million? And that's 11.3 million pounds, or Australian money, Australian dollars, 14.4 million on lobbyists in Washington, D.C. last year, more than any other company except American telco, a giant Comcast. Google execs met senior White House officials 230 times since President Obama was elected. By comparison, Comcast has had 20 such meetings. And this harkens back to a post by Q that was posted 9/2 of September 2nd, 2018 on a Sunday. How might DARPA, aka Google, play a role in the spy campaign against POTUS? Well, it's all coming out, isn't it? It's all coming out, and it's all becoming very, very clear. Think Gmail. Think Gmail drafts. Think Eric Schmidt resignation. Now we know why Eric Schmidt resigned. And it will all connect eventually. Q. Funny how that all connects. Eventually. Yeah. So, let's look at something else now. Just because we can. Well. Hillary Clinton and Google created covert server to hide classified Benghazi emails from Congress. FBI never probed. Well, I wonder why that would be. Well, we'll see what one of those reasons, small reasons, shortly. Facebook users slammed the award show, spurring, I don't know what this is talking about. Hillary Clinton suffered a humiliating election defeat because she was the most corrupt candidate in history. Oh, yes. She, a liar and a cheater. This is who Democrat women and girls want as a role model. That's really sad. Yes, it is. All right, let's get rid of this. Note, since the right-wing media has been asleep on this story for over 2 years, but suddenly Google's collusion with Hillary Clinton is newsworthy, we at True Pundit wanted to highlight a story we broke in June and September 2016, detailing Hillary and Google's election collusion. This was 26 months ago. Also noteworthy is the story True Pundit stated that China had hacked Hillary's emails per FBI sources. That also has recently come true, so to speak, in the news recently. We broke it 2 years ago. We are proud that our national scoops always stand the test of time, despite misguided and partisan critics who are 2 years behind our reporting. Here's the original story from 2016. Headline: FBI botched Clinton investigation. Never disclosed Hillary. Aides used covert Google server to hide Benghazi emails. It's like a bad spy movie involving a third world government, or perhaps a slapstick comedy. The Secretary of State of the United States reading, sending, receiving sensitive emails with national security secrets, threats, and classified or top secret intelligence over Google's public Gmail. We expect this from chatting soccer moms, but not from the top diplomat of the United States and her aides. But it gets even worse. The FBI either never disclosed this blatant and clandestine violation of federal laws, or did and simply covered it up. Following the Benghazi consulate attack in 2012, then Secretary of State Hillary Clinton secretly worked with Google to reroute email traffic away from her private computer server and use public Google Gmail servers instead. That clandestine move served to cloak her inner circle's communications from lawmakers, public scrutiny, and would-be criminal investigators, according to intelligence sources who provided documents to True Pundit. These bombshell revelations shatter Clinton's repeated claims and testimony that she solely used her private server in her Chappaqua, New York home to conduct government business at state, but it also reveals that previously undisclosed computer servers were employed by Clinton and her aides for conducting official government business. Lawmakers have been on a dogged and often frustrated quest to secure all of Clinton's emails. During her tenure as Secretary of State, she has maintained in interviews and testimony that all emails were warehoused on a single homebrew server during her 4 years in office. Perhaps more alarming, none of these revelations, or the intelligence which followed in this expose were included in the FBI's recent comprehensive report released to the public, detailing the Bureau's alleged dogged investigation into Clinton's emails and home servers. According to its report of the year-long investigation by 30 agents and administrative personnel, and a secondary detail of its interrogation of Clinton and the FBI, number one, failed to report that Clinton, along with her top aides, routed official state emails through Google's public Gmail. Failed to pinpoint these missing post-Benghazi emails. Failed to subpoena Google for such stored or archived messages from its servers. Failed to even question Clinton or her aides about use or rerouting of emails through Google. Failed to question Google personnel involved with the setting up of the server to handle Clinton emails. Failed to disclose Clinton's use of Gmail for state business during sworn congressional testimony. Is it possible the FBI didn't perform these seemingly rudimentary investigative steps because its computer forensic experts and agents didn't even know about the Google connection and relationship to Clinton's emails? Yes, but if true, that would certainly call the FBI's entire year-long inquiry of Clinton's email dealings into question and further entrench the embattled law enforcement agency in public scorn and additional scrutiny on Capitol Hill. Either way, the FBI bungled the investigation, regardless of the spin, spit, shine, and elbow grease FBI Director James Comey has applied to the controversial case. How could Comey clear Clinton and her aides of all criminality absent all these facts? Is Comey protecting Google? Well, he was probably protecting Google and Clinton, and himself. What follows are the startling details the FBI either failed to uncover or intentionally deleted from its reports. Covered up. This information portrays a dangerously and dastardly use of classified and top-secret email infrastructure that in all likelihood have compromised national security by the design of the Democratic presidential candidate and her inner circle while at state. According to sources, Clinton's former and privately paid information technology guru, Brian Pagliano, worked with Google to convert ClintonMail.com's server. Pagliano, who served as a federal witness for the FBI in Clinton's criminal investigation, has been granted immunity in exchange for his cooperating with federal agents. Sources confirm Clinton and her aides used Google's servers for their private email backbone during November and December 2012, a very turbulent period in Clinton's State Department tenure. Recently, revelations surfaced proving Google's internet search algorithms are weighted to favor Clinton by scrubbing negative results in stories about the Democratic presidential frontrunner. However, her colluding with Google to shroud government and personal emails is far more troubling and dangerous. Google brass has been accused of intentionally boosting Clinton's presidential campaign, helping the Secretary of State divert email, however, likely propels Google into the realm of federal criminal investigation as a possible accomplice for potentially damaging national security infrastructure. Now, I'm not going to go on and read all of this. It's very, very long, but it's on the True Pundit, and it's under Hillary Clinton FBI never probed. It's very interesting, but it's very long. But a very good read. So, let's go on. All right. Now, this is interesting. Remember when we were talking about microchip and how he claimed that he was Q, that he was the original Q? Well, now I have to really wonder about his mental health, because here he is. Now, really, if he were Q and he said, oh, I think I might stop this whole Q thing and whatever, well, then stop it. If you're Q, just stop posting. That will prove it, right? What you do is you get on Twitter or whatever and you say, you know what? Okay, I'm going to prove to you that I'm Q. I'm going to stop posting. All right? And then you stop posting. But he can't do that because he's not Q. It's absolutely ridiculous. But here he is on Twitter today, and get a load of this. Microchip. I think that he should be called microbrain, but he calls himself microchip, probably a micro potato chip. I don't know, but I guess I'm just going to have to work to get Trump impeached now. Sad it's come to this, but my only goal is to end Q movement entirely. Oh, wait a minute. Wait, hold on. You said you were Q. Well, why do you have to work to move the or end the Q movement if you're Q? You just stop posting, right? And then it all goes away. Sad it's come to this, but my only goal is to end Q movement entirely. Oh no, Microchip. Don't end the Q movement, Mr. Microchip. Please, no. I'm going to help the left end this mess. Well, wait a minute. I thought you were Q. Anyway, I don't care if America burns to the ground as long as Q is done. Okay. Do you know what that's like? That's like, there's a spider in your house, and I don't know about you. I'm a female. I don't like spiders. I really don't. If I have to kill them, I will. I did spend some time in the rainforest in Honduras, in the Mosquito Coast. And let me tell you, the tarantulas would crawl under the doors, and you'd have to take a broom and sweep them out. So I really don't like spiders. Really don't like spiders. Now, of course, there are no tarantulas where I live, but, there are spiders everywhere. Now, it would be like me seeing a big old spider and deciding, instead of dealing with the spider, to just burn down the house. That is exactly the attitude that this person is exhibiting, because that's how mentally deficient this person is. Now, I don't know if they're a paid shill. If they are, they need to be fired because they're not very good at it. Really. If this person is working for CIA or whatever, honestly, they need to get somebody a little bit brighter. I'm just saying. I don't know who he is, where he came from, but he's most certainly, I don't know what he is, but he's meant to come, divide the movement, for sure. But here he is. I don't care if America burns to the ground as long as Q is done. Well, you know what, Microchip, microbrain, micro potato chip, whoever you are, micro penis, I don't know who you are, but let me tell you this. You don't have more than a couple neurons to rub together, because, chances are that you're in America. Isn't that kind of like, maybe chopping off your nose to spite your face? I hate this nose. I'm going to chop it off. There. I taught you, nose. Really. I mean, you're in America. Hello. I don't care if America burns to the ground as long as Q is done. Oh, there's a spider on the wall. Let's burn the house down. It's absolutely ludicrous. Really. This man he has the intelligence of a soap dish. And that absolutely may be a little bit too generous. I've never, honestly, it's been a long time since I've read something this stupid. I guess I'm going to have to work to get Trump impeached now. What's that supposed to mean? Because why? Why now? Why now? What happened that made you think all of a sudden, well, I guess I'm going to have to work to get Trump impeached now? Oh, you're so important. You're so important. Oh, please, don't get Trump impeached. Oh, you're so powerful, Mr. Micropenis. You're so powerful. You can get Trump impeached. Sad it's come to this. But my only goal is to end Q movement entirely. That's his only goal. But I guess, what was it, last week he was saying he was Q. Well, which is it, Mr. Micropenis? I'm going to help the left end this mess. I only say that because, some of these men have this mentality. It's like, not all men. I am not anti male at all. I'm not. I am not one of those women. I certainly am not and have never been. But, some feel that for whatever reason, whether maybe they were a 98-pound weakling and got sand kicked in their face, they need, this whole macho thing, and need to feel that they're more important than they are. But, this takes the cake. I don't care if America burns to the ground as long as Q is done. All right. He's just, wah. Call a ambulance. Anyway, okay, here's another one. Just, for kicks and giggles, I guess. Actually, I'm sick and tired of the right in general. This Q shit is just too retarded to handle that I can't support Trump any longer. I'm going to shift to light liberalism. What the heck is light liberalism? Anyway, he's going to shift. Be warned, everybody. He's shifting to light liberalism to help them get Q and other stupid shit booted from the internet. Well, then, I hope you're gone, if that's the case, Mr. Microchip. Whoever you are, the Trump movement is an embarrassment now. Most of the hard right would agree. No, I don't think probably very many people would agree at all with you. I think probably people even on the left would want to distance themselves from you, Mr. Micro, whoever you are. He's sick of the right in general because Q is just too retarded to handle. But last week he was saying he was Q, so don't know about that. He can't support Trump any longer. Well, I'm sure that Trump is really going to miss his support. I'm quite certain of it. All right then. Well, now moving past this mental midget. Oh, and here is the last one by Micro. I don't know. I will refrain from calling him micro penis. I am going to help get Trump impeached now just to prove a point. Oh, he's so important. He's just so important. He's going to get him impeached just to prove a point. Yes. It's so ridiculous and immature. Like, honestly, this person has got to be a preteen or young teen boy, honestly. Don't know, but I'm seeing, somebody living in somebody's basement. That's what I'm seeing. Anyway, let's move on. Not that all preteen boys are like that. They most certainly are not. But it's just so, I'm going to get Trump impeached now just to prove a point. All right, Maxine. Maxine and him should get together. He could be Maxine Micropenis. Anyway, so we've looked at this with the water bottles here. And let's go down to this. Here's something very interesting. Patriot Gary. Wow, this is interesting. And I agree, Patriot Gary. It is interesting. Strzok mistress Lisa Page interned under Clinton. Aha. No surprise there, really. I agree with you. I agree 100%. No surprise there. And yet they say, oh no, there was no bias. No. Ex-FBI lawyer Lisa Page interned under Clinton, text reveal. Ex-FBI lawyer Lisa Page, whose Trump-bashing text made it clear who she backed in the 2016 presidential election, refers in a newly released I would say that's probably, well, let's go. Nah, I'm not going to go out and read all that. I think it's enough for us to know that she interned with Clinton. Makes perfect sense to me. Now, I think that's going to be it actually tonight. I know it's not as long as some of my other videos, but it's getting late and I'm getting tired. This is my third video, and I'm going to sign off for now. I will be back tomorrow. If you wish to be subscribed, please make sure that you stay subscribed, because they do drop my subscribers, and make sure that you like or leave a comment. I do try to look at the comments. I may not always get to all of them, but I do try. So I appreciate all of you guys. I pray that those of you that may be in the path of the hurricane are safe, and I ask that you would stay well and continue to stay safe. Thank you so much. I'll talk to you guys soon. I appreciate you all.